How to fix any speed optimizer plugin error within your website. This is the question that brought you to this video. I have prepared a complete list with step-by-step instructions to correct all errors on your WordPress website quickly and objectively. I will teach you, with a complete tutorial, how to fix the error you are facing without wasting your time with useless solutions. If that's what you need, let's get to the content. Let's go. Here's a very important step that you cannot neglect. Use good website hosting. 90% of the problems we encounter on WordPress sites are always related to the hosting company. In some cases, the PHP version is out of date. In other cases, PHP does not have an extension allowed or features are missing. Therefore, we recommend Hostinger servers so that you can use PHP in your hosting company. Regardless of which country in the world you are in, they have multi-language support and they serve the entire world. They have a specific plan for WordPress with management, and it is one of the best plans for WordPress. We tested several sites within these plans. From the initial plan, you can host from 100 websites, and they are compatible with absolutely everyone. All the plugins we have tested to date, we have not found any plugin that does not work within the Hostinger environment. They also have a system within the panel to check viruses within WordPress installations, make updates within the panel, and check plugin compatibility, which will help you resolve most problems. There's a link in the description, and if you're purchasing an annual plan or longer, use our link to support our channel. One very important thing, as Rotchinger has a money-back policy if you don't like the product, you can simply do the following. By hosting from Rotchinger, install a WordPress site. Install all the themes and plugins you have on your current website. Check if it will work. If it works, you know the problem is with your website hosting and it's time for you to migrate. All you have to do is bring your website to Hostinger. Even Hostinger does the migration for you free of charge. All you have to do is join one of their plans. I recommend Cloud Startup for sites that need more performance and call the support team and they will help you with the migration process. Before making any changes, you must back up your environment. It is very important to have a backup of your website. Even if it has a problem, make a backup of the website to its current state. You can ask your hosting company's support team, or you can hire Hostinger, link in the description, and you can have their automatic backup. Backing up on the Hostinger panel is very simple to do. I'm going to teach here, and almost every hosting company is the same. Within your hosting company's dashboard, you go to Files, and you will have the Backups option. Coming here to the Backups option, I can click on Create New Backup. I come to Select. It warns me that it will overwrite the previous backup. Continue, and it starts creating my backup. I have to wait until this backup is complete, so I can start making the changes that will fix the problems with the plugins and themes within my website. Okay, backup completed. Now you can go to your website, make the necessary changes. If you have a problem, it's very simple to restore the backup. You can come here to restore the website. Select the date of the backup you made. Click on Restore, and it carries out the entire process. This said hosting. If you are using another hosting company, just contact technical support and they will help you resolve the issue and perform a restoration if necessary. This is the first step to solving problems. In fact, if you have a problem and don't have any new information on the site, you can try restoring old backups to see if it fixes the problem you're getting. Increase PHP memory. This is a step that solves most cases of problems with plugins, especially cases of instability, when the site goes on and off. Let's go. Coming to your hosting company's dashboard, you can click here on Advanced PHP Configuration, and you will land on this screen. You go to PHP Options. you will go down to the option that talks about PHP memory. Here I have it set to 512 megas. I can change it to 1024. Keeping in mind that my plan has 3 gigs. Incredible, 3 gigs of RAM. I can change, for example, to 1024, come down here, save, and this step, after a few seconds, can completely change the performance of your website, including making several plugins that were stopping working due to the use of PHP are available on your website. Excessive memory or not excessive, just the necessary usage, get them back up and running. So, check with your hosting company if your plan has memory values greater than 1 gigabyte. 1024 gigabytes. Ideally, plans should have more than that because PHP is just one of the parts that will use your hosting's memory. In some cases, simply clearing the cache solves problems within WordPress. So what are we going to do? By clicking here next to the refresh button, we go to Site Settings. Go to Delete Data, delete the data, reset the permissions, and reload the page. But instead of clicking the reload button, I'm going to press it on the keyboard. Control and the F5 key so that I can do a reload without cache. Once this is done, the page will be reloaded without using the cache, and if I have any problems caused by the cache, it will be resolved. Another step is to change the browser you are using. I know this step seems obvious, but in many cases it solves problems. Let's test. Let's go. Let's select the browser we were using previously, copy the URL, and simply paste it into another browser. It can be any browser, and on your computer you certainly have more than one browser. If you are using Windows, it comes by default with Microsoft Edge. If you're on Mac OS, you have Safari. If you're using Linux, it comes standard with Firefox. You can switch between browsers to see if the web page opens. Another important tip is to try to open the same page on your cell phone. Increasing the memory of WordPress itself is also a step that solves many of the problems. Increase the memory available for WordPress. The first thing you have to do is check with your hosting company what the memory limit is available on your server. The one we are using is a plan specifically for WordPress. We have 3 gigabytes of memory. I allocated 1 gigabyte for PHP, and now I will also increase the memory available for WordPress. So I come here to Files, File Manager. If you host your website elsewhere, you can access the file manager through your hosting company's dashboard. If you want to change your hosting company, I recommend that you click on the link in the description to get a discount on annual or larger plans within hosting. Access the file manager. Go to Public HTML. WP includes. Look for the file called Default Constants. Let's look for the file. We find it here. Here is the default constants.php file. Let's double click on the file. Let's scroll and here where WordPress sets the memory limits. We will put this memory limit as 1024. Again, change it below also to 1024, and below here we have WordPress multisites. We are not using this structure. But if we were, we could also change it to 1024. Let's save, and that's it. From this moment, WordPress will be able to use more of the system's available RAM, which solves many of the problems with plugins that require greater use of RAM memory. Changing the PHP version can be one of the important steps in fixing a problem on your WordPress website. Regardless of whether the problem is with a theme or a plugin, the PHP version must be compatible with it. Let's go. Accessing the dashboard of my hosting system, I can go to Advanced, the PHP configuration, and choose the version of PHP I want to use. Each hosting company has a different panel, but they all have the option to change PHP versions. Currently, PHP 7.4 is the most compatible with all WordPress themes and plugins. PHP 8.0 performs well within WordPress, but it still has some incompatibilities with some themes and plugins that the developers haven't updated yet. So, we recommend that you switch to PHP version 7.4. Click Update so that it applies the change. Wait about 3 minutes and try again to access your website, remembering to clear the cache every time you make a change. Checking the PHP extensions that your plugins and themes require can help you solve many of the problems as well. Here within the hosting panel, we go to PHP configuration. We go to PHP extension, and we check the extensions that are already natively active, and you cannot deactivate them. And below are several other extensions that you can optionally activate. Most hosting companies do not have this type of extension available, which is why we chose Hostinger as a partner. Let's go. I'll give you an example, and this is just an example. You can use this base for any plugin you use. You go to Google and search for the name of the plugin and the PHP extensions it needs, or read the documentation. So, for example here, Elementor. He has the PHP ZLIB extension as a necessity. He needs this extension active. Coincidentally, it is also an extension required by WordPress. So it's obvious that our site has the extension active, but it's important for you to know that all of your plugins have PHP extensions that they need to work. A plugin can depend on an extension. Another plugin may depend on another. So it's important that you have all necessary extensions active. How do you find this out? Talking to the plugin developer or reading the documentation. Generally, most hosting companies come with all the necessary extensions active, but there may be cases where you have to test to see if your plugin depends on any extension. Additional PHP. Time is money. If you need a team to solve problems with your applications, your infrastructure, and your web application, contact us. The link in the description has our calendar open to the public with hours and days that you can select. Check out and receive our exclusive service from a bunch of technology mad people for a client who needs it. Your time is worth a lot to us. If you don't want to, that's okay. Just watch the video until the end, and I'm sure you'll be able to solve your problem. If you want to make money solving WordPress problems, there's a link in the description that will take you to the best training there is. I want you to think about the following. What do you think is most likely? That someone pays you $1,000 for a website that they don't even know if they need? Or that someone who already has a website working and has a problem pays you $1,000 to solve it? Solve problems with tools that already exist. It is a huge and little explored market. You have the opportunity to work on the urgency, the need of businesses that are already active. Click on the link in the description, and I'm sure you'll like it. Come on, guys. If none of the other steps in this video manage to solve your problem, I'll now teach you how to contact Speed Optimizer support. Let's go. The first thing we're going to do now is access this link that I left below in the first comment pinned for you, which will take you exactly to this page here on WordPress.org of Speed Optimizer. You will enter here. You will log in to your WordPress.org account, or create an account if you do not have an account created on WordPress.org. You will come here in the lower right corner, in the support part. Entering the support part support, we go to create a topic, which will basically create a ticket so you can contact plugin support. Okay, let's go. So, first you'll add a little title. You'll add your website link, and now we'll add a very special little thing that we left ready for you here within the body of the message that we'll send to plugin support. I'm going to leave this copy ready here for you in the first pinned comment too. where you'll be able to get this basic that I made for you ready, especially to get in touch with this type of support. Basically here, you will need to fill in this information and you will have everything you need to send to support so they can understand everything you are running in your environment and make the process of discovering what is causing this error much easier. Are you having beauty? Let's go. The first thing you will need to enter here is your hosting company, which in our case is hosting. You will also need to enter your PHP version, your WordPress version, and the version of their plugin that you are using. Great. Always remember that everything I'm putting here is just for example, just to illustrate to you how you should carry out the process. You put in the data relating to your environment, your website. Okay. If you have other plugins installed on your website, I recommend that you make it clear here which ones they are and which plugins are active and installed on your website. Okay. And if you have any other type of cache plugin for some reason, also make it clear. As in the previous steps, we taught you how to activate your download for debug. Any message you receive there, you can also put here within this message support, which will be very useful for any type of developer who will assist you in your case. Okay. And finally, we will place here within the message that we will send to support two simple texts. The first explaining what you are trying to do and how it should work, and the second explaining how this is actually working within your website and how are you having this error being returned to you. That's all you need to write within the body of the message. We're now going to put some little tags here just to give them some guidance on. Once again, along with the title, to give them some guidance on what this topic is that we are putting it here. And finally, before submitting, there are some boxes here that we can check. The first two refer to the content you wrote within your message. I recommend you read them, but you probably won't need them. Mark neither unless it is really consistent with what you wrote here in the message part. Okay? I recommend that you check the last box here because it will enable WordPress.org to notify you via email when your ticket has been responded to. Now an addendum, before you send it, regardless of when, where you live, what language you usually use, I recommend that you always write this type of message on the web in general, in English, because English is the most spoken language on the web. It is the most used language, and this will certainly speed up the process of the plugin support team responding to you and helping you with this here. Okay, now you can submit. That's it. You will have contacted plugin support. This video will end here. Thanks. Set it.